Design a Valentine's Day nail set with me on Procreate. Hey y'all, welcome to NailedtoLuxury's official YouTube channel. I am back. I know I've been gone for a minute. I don't even know what to say with that, but anyways, I'm back with a Valentine's Day nail set. So today I'm designing this on Procreate. On the side you can see some inspo that I took inspiration from to create this nail set. So I kind of just took a bunch of random different things and blended them together and came up with this nail set. We're gonna get into this video, which you guys have already seen the first nail, which was a cookie inspired nail. I don't even really know what to call it, but that's what it is. This nail, I decided to add the French tip last minute, which it's kind of strange that there's only 2 French tips in this nail set, but that was the vibe. So for the French tip, I'm using this red color, which I'm obviously going to be using a lot of. I created this little palette. I don't know if you're going to see it in this video. I think you are, but I created this little Valentine's Day palette for me to use. And I'd say that that definitely helped me to blend all of the colors and make sure they're, what's the word, cohesive between the 2 hands, because this is actually maybe my second time doing like a nail set where it's not the same on each hand. I love mismatching sets. I think those are so cool. So that's the vibe I went for this one. This nail is very, very cute. I love how this one turned out. Also, I'm doing this voiceover, but I don't really know how to narrate me drawing. So we're kind of having like a little chit chat, but anyways, that's what's happening in this video. So for this set, I'm using the glimmer brush to kind of create this glittery effect, which I think added so much to this nail. Definitely one of my favorite nails. I have a lot of favorite nails in this set, but that's definitely one of them. I'm just adding this last touch to make it look more shiny. This one is a kiss bouquet, I guess. The kisses are kind of supposed to be the flowers. I found this really cool brush, you'll see in a minute, where I'm gonna use for the lip to create this kind of crayon drawing effect, which I think was really cool. But I'm going to just copy and paste this because I was not drawing every single one. By the way, I should mention that this video is going to make it look like I got everything on the first try. I promise you I did it. This was definitely trial and error, but I'd say it turned out pretty cute overall. So as you can see, I'm placing the kiss flower thingies all over, and I'm just going to duplicate it. So that's going to create a lot of layers. And then I can just, using the transform tool, I can just move it around. I love all the tools on Procreate. There's so many tools, so much I haven't even discovered yet. So I'm very excited for the videos to come and all the new things I'll be learning with this app. So if you don't have Procreate and you're into nails and designing, I definitely would recommend getting it. But the last thing I'm doing for this nail is adding this texture. We're moving on to the pinky of the first hand, which I just decided to do a more simple, I guess, kind of pattern for this. It's just a simple, quick pattern just to break it up. But anyways, I'm designing the cone. I should have colored it before, and then I had to go back and fill each of the little squares. But anyways, we got it colored. Once again, I'm doing the outline because I just feel like it adds so much detail to the nail. Also, you do not have to get this detail. I'm just extra. I love detail, and when I can do like down to the smallest detail, it just makes it easier to do it physically because it's literally just going to be copy and paste. But that's just personal preference. Anyways, for this cherry, I'm using this hot pink color, which I thought was really pretty. I actually go back and add something off camera. Probably a lot of things I went back and added off camera to give it more detail. But right now I'm doing outlines again. Everything in this nail set is probably outlined or has some type of shadow or something like that, just because it adds so much more detail to the nail. Make sure you guys comment down below what other videos you guys want to see and what type of content you want to see on this channel, because I will definitely be posting more. As you can see, I'm getting into the worst nail on this nail set. Like, I don't even like this nail just because of how torturous it was to design. But I'm starting with these letters. Also, changing the stabilization and streamlining by just tapping on the brush definitely helps, so you can play around with that as well. But that's what I use for this one. And then I drew these little lines to give it this, I don't even know what the texture is called, like a rug texture. I don't know how to describe it, but you can see the vibe that I'm going for. But I had to do this for every single letter, and it was horrible. I hated it. I didn't even get much footage. I don't think you guys even saw like me designing the heart. Obviously I didn't put all the letters on there because it's just a repetitive process. And I used these 2 colors throughout the entire nail. But this nail was the worst one to design. I hated this one. Like, I promise you I spent like 2 hours on this nail, which is insane. But you know what? We persevere. And this is the final result. It still turned out very cute and it goes very well with the set. It was just torture. Anyways, we're moving on to this lollipop nail. This is definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite nail. I don't know why. It just turned out really good. Like, I just really like this one. I'm starting off with doing the outline as usual. which I think makes it easier. Like at the beginning of the video, I had a rough sketch for every single nail. This one, I'm doing a like candy cane sort of pattern. I don't really know, but I'm using Valentine's Day colors, obviously. So I'm gonna use a bright red, and oh, here you can see the palette that I'm using for Valentine's Day. A bright red and a bright pink. I love those two colors together. It just looks so pretty. I'm starting to draw the bow now. That actually turned out really cute. I don't know why, it just kind of worked. I don't know, I've never really drawn like this sort of cartoon style is how I would describe it. So this was a fun nail. I got to experiment a lot with this one. For some reason the other side didn't turn out, like the other side took me longer than this side. I don't know why, but it's the same process on both sides. I was playing around a lot with shading as well, because I had to use a lot of darker or lighter shades depending on what I was putting on that nail. I just feel like this one turned out so cute. Like, look at that. Like, you can't tell me that's not cute. Anyways, you see now I'm repeating the same process. Took me forever to do that side. I don't know why. But I didn't add anything else on that nail just because I felt like that design already was everything it needed. We're moving on to the ring finger now. This one was also another torturous one to design. I don't know why, but it just took me forever, and then I had to go searching for brushes to get the effect that I wanted. But anyways, I decided to use, I think it's Old Beach is the name of the brush, to give this sort of, I don't even know what to describe this effect, but it's like an oil painting maybe. Right now I'm just adding all of the little details like the bow and the little lines on the envelope, everything just to make it look as detailed as possible. Then I had to go back and add brown on like this little inner part of the envelope because I realized that part was a totally different color. So I had to go back and add that and the shading as well. But the next thing that I'll be moving on to is the actual flowers, which are hearts, and they have this really interesting texture to them. I think I used the Old Bay brush, not Old Bay, what am I saying? Old Beach brush. I think I used that same one, or maybe a different one, I don't know. But right now I'm just going through and adding tons of detailing on this. I don't know why I spent so long detailing this leaf, but I did. So here I'm using that duplicating tool again because your girl will not be drawing every single one. Like if you're going and doing that, shout out to you. I will not be doing that. So I duplicated literally everything. And then we jump to this where the hearts are there because I forgot to record the hearts. That's how you know it was a struggle to design them, because I literally forgot to record. But I'm just going to show you guys what brushes I use. So the Old Beach, like I mentioned a minute ago, was one of the brushes that I definitely used to create that effect. Another one that I use is watercolor, which I use more on the leaves for a clean blend. Studio pen and this Jisinki ink, I don't know. But those are the brushes I use for that. Anyways, we're moving on to the last nail, which is these dice. And I thought they were super cute. More on the simple side, but not as simple as I thought it would be because the dice took me a minute to draw. I don't know why. Maybe because it's this 3D shape. Usually I'm good at drawing cubes, but I don't know what was happening. I don't know if it's different on paper or whatnot. I ended up redoing the second one because I didn't like it. Like I said, trial and error for this set. I redid so many things and erased so many things. Like, it took me forever to edit this. But we're here, so that's the moral of the story. Anyways, I'm gonna get into the coloring. I chose this very, very light pink. It almost looks kind of white, but it's a very, very light pink. I thought it was a pretty color because I used it on a previous nail. And that's another thing I would do with this set, is try to incorporate colors that I used already so that everything sort of blend and it was cohesive, just because every single nail is completely different. But I think that's what brings the set together. Anyways, now we're getting on to drawing the heart and the little like circle things on the dice. Here I'm using that effect again by using the white to create this sort of light illusion almost. I'm adding shadowing again because I just like when it pops off of the nail and it just looks more detailed. Like, that looks so much better than it did a second ago. But like I did for the first nail, I'm using this snow, I think is the element that I use to create that texture. Hi guys, we're back with the final result. Let me know if you like this ASMR. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hey y'all, so we're back with the final result. This is the completed set. Also, the audio might sound a little different because I'm actively recording and this is not a voiceover. Anyways, I thought we'll talk about the nail set because it is completed, and I added a couple little things, including the French tip, which I didn't even show in the video. Anyways, first I wanted to talk about my inspo because I had a lot more inspo going on when I was recording the video because I was still figuring out what I wanted to use and what I didn't, but this is all the inspo that I ended up using. And so I thought I'd just minimize it by putting only that there because there was a lot going on over there. Anyways, let's just talk about the nails real quick. So first we have this cookie inspired nail. I thought this was very cute. I had way more inspo saved on my Pinterest, but I had to reduce it and be like, okay, choose one thing, you know what I mean? So I chose that for the first nail. And then over here we have this lucky card inspired by this inspo. It was just kind of plain for me, so I decided to add the French tip, and that just made it better. I don't know, it just added something. Then we have this nail, one of my favorites, definitely probably my favorite from the first hand. But we have this cute little heart, and it kind of looks like a bubble heart with this little white detail. Then I just added some glitter on top just to, I don't know, just to add something to the nail. Then we have this kiss bouquet. I thought this one was super cute, kind of simple, but I like it because we need some simplicity with all the complex nails, just to break it up in between. So this one was pretty simple, very cute, and yeah, I like that one. And also the texture I just added was a last minute thing, just because I don't know, I always try to add something to complete the nail. Like if it feels incomplete, I look for something to add to it. So that was just that. And then for the last nail, I decided to do a simple pattern just to close off this hand because I didn't want anything too complicated. And if you put too many, if you put too many, like, what am I trying to say? If you put too many complicated designs that's like 3D, like a lot of the designs on this I would do 3D on an actual hand. So if you put that too much next to each other, that's like too much going on for me personally. So I thought the pattern just broke it up and it just added some simplicity to it. And then moving on to the second hand, we have this ice cream nail. I love this one as well. This one was very simple but cute. Like, I don't know, this is a perfect mix of both. And then I added this little paint splatter thingy, again, just to complete the nail. Oh my god, that always happens. Just to complete the nail, you know, it just added something to it. And it says "You're my cherry" on top, which I thought that was just so cute. This nail was just, I don't know, like, I know it sounds so dramatic and it kind of is, but like, I literally spent 2 hours, if not more than 2 hours on this nail. It was crazy. And I redid it so many times, so I feel like we need to give it its moment. And honestly, I feel like I did a pretty good job replicating this because, yeah, this just took me a long time. I don't know. And then I'm already a perfectionist when it comes to literally everything. So, yeah, that was a lot. There was a lot going on. Definitely added something to the set. Super cute, but I don't want to have to do that again. Anyways, moving on to this nail. Definitely one of my favorites. I think this might be my favorite nail, honestly. I don't know what it is. It's just this one just turned out super cute, and like the cartoon effect. The bow turned out very cute. I just really like this nail. And there's not even anything else going on. It's just a lollipop on this nail. But I feel like that's what makes it everything. Like, it didn't need anything else. Moving on to the ring finger of the second hand, we have this envelope, which also took me a very long time, as I've already mentioned. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why it took me so long. Like, this is not even that complicated. I don't know. I think it's just me being picky, honestly. And then I obviously went back later and added the French tip. Just because I wanted it to be cohesive. I was like, I'm not gonna have one French tip, like one single French tip in a whole set. It's kind of crazy. The last nail is these dice, which these are very cute, and my inspo is over here. And it took me a little bit to do this one as well. Not as long as the others, but it just took me a minute to figure out the cubes and where I wanted to put stuff. Anyways, this concludes this YouTube video. This is the final set. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm very happy with this set. Hopefully this video is posted in time. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. And yeah, bye!